This is our great chat with Don from Riot. We are so glad these guys are back in town, and we're so glad the seal finally got a girlfriend, which we discuss.
Yes.
So take it away. Loved our chat with Don. Love Riot 5.
How y'all doing?
You're doing great.
Oh,
doing
good.
great.
Yeah, we just got rid of the pesky cat. I accidentally hit him in the face, so he I didn't mean to. He was like right here. I was like, really?
You can have the cat because my dog might jump in my lap during the interview.
Yeah. We have a bunch of cats and a dog too that might make an appearance. So just be forewarned.
That's cool. That's cool. Maybe our seal will show up. You know, the
There you go.
Riot
Yeah,
seal.
exactly.
He might walk in. You never know.
You never know. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, we're very excited about the new album. We have the artwork behind us,
Yeah,
which is great. I'm glad he got a girlfriend. It's awesome.
I know we've had, the poor guy's been single for 17 records, 50 years. We finally had to get him laid. He got a fine silver chick, and here we are. I was just talking about that. It was when we first came up with the concept. Yeah, we were the artist. He gave us, his rough sketches, and he had the girl in the back. We were like, wow, okay. He found true love.
Yeah, you would have thought during his sumo wrestling era that he would have found somebody, but I guess not,
I mean, God, you would think. That's funny.
Yeah. You probably all thought he was going to be a lifelong bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we hooked him up. This new lineup, we just, we hooked him up. She was a friend of ours, from back in the day.
Yeah.
So we decided, hey, come on, hook up Johnny. And it's all right. So they're dating right now. We'll see what happens.
See what happens, right? Exactly.
Yeah, we had actually done a small piece about you. Like we have like a vinyl throwback, and we had no idea this was coming out. So we were really thrilled because this has always been a favorite.
It was just me gushing over Fire Down Under is all it was, really.
She's like, what the hell? Well, we have a history, I mean, God, I've been a part of the band, since, the early 80s. I got fortunate enough to join Rhett Forrester and Sandy Slavin on the Born in America when they rekindled and came back. So, but I was a fan of the band, Guy Speranza, I knew Mark already 10 years before I joined the band. So I got to, hang out with Guy and those kind of guys. And we're still friends with Rick and some of the members. But, the history, I mean, the band it's going to be the 50-year anniversary next year of Riot. They started 75, and then the first record, Rock City, came out in 77. So it's just been, this big, long thing. There's been member changes, style changes, and fortunately, the band, is continuing on, and people seem to dig it. So it's really cool.
What's your shirt? I see the Slayer versus SA Slayer, I guess. What's the bottom say?
You remember this or no?
I know that the Slayer versus SA Slayer thing. I get that, but what's the rest?
It was at a place. I was in the Texas Slayer. That's how I met. Right. That's how I met Mark. Right. Mark would even come on stage and we play Swords in Tequila with Mark Reale. But awesome. The Slayer and the Slayer, actually, we weren't even a band. Me and Mark were already making that band Narita, because I had already started writing songs with him for Born in America. So basically, what they said, we got Slayer coming. This would be great. Slayer, with special guest Slayer, so basically it wasn't a versus.
Oh, okay. So it was a lineup.
It was a show, because they're like, it's for the name, and it wasn't really, So anyway, so we played at this little place in San Antonio, Texas, Villa Fontana. It's no longer there. It's torn down. It's a waterfall now. But anyway, it took place and it was a great venue. And it happened many, many moons ago. And they still have, there's the cat.
That's so cool.
The black cat. Anyway, so the guys made these shirts, and so I have a bunch of them. So it's
that's awesome.
A lot of history for me. Yeah. But back then, that's where I met Mark, and we started our relationship with the writing and so forth, because we did the Narita solo band. It was me, Steve Cooper, him, and Dave McClain from Sacred Reich. Used to be in Machine Head, my bro.
Oh yeah.
And so we recorded a lot of that stuff. Like we even did Thunder Steel, Fight or Fall, stuff that ended up on Thunder Still, and we even wrote Sign of the Crimson Storm with Sandy and Rhett. So we have so much writing history, and then the band is just it's just members, changes, songs, and I'm keeping it going.
Yeah.
My birthday, was a couple of weeks ago. I'm getting older. I'm an old man now. So I'm like, how much longer can I riot?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you, so when Mark died, was there a period where you guys thought about hanging it up, or like what was the
Oh,
We're
sentiment?
changing the name completely.
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. Because like I said, we had so much history, and he was like, he just wasn't my guitar player. We're like best friends. Like I said, I knew him 10 years before I even joined the band. I lived with him in Schenectady and Flatbush
Yeah.
and Brooklyn, and he lived with me here in Texas, and we just used to hang out and write music together. We'd go to Universal Studios, Disney World Camp. I mean, we were just friends. So there was more than just the music thing. There was the friendship. So when I did get the call to join, it was great. I said, I'm going to join one of my favorite bands. It was like Rockstar. I was like Marky Mark,
Yeah. Exactly.
so I got in the band, and then, everything, we started recording music, and it got to the point where, um, Mark wanted it to be like a Fire Down Under on steroids for the Thunderstill lineup, because we had been writing. He went through that era with Guy, then the more rock era with Rhett. And at the time, Priest and Maiden were the ones, doing everything. So we wanted to make a heavier record. So we moved back east. We had the same producers from all the records take control. And then we hired, like, Sandy didn't want to do it, or Rhett didn't want to do it, but we hired Bobby Jarzombeck, who's a phenomenal drummer.
Yeah.
He's in Sebastian Bach, Halford, Fates Warning. Now he's playing with George Strait, the king of country, which is crazy.
Wow.
Now he's making real money, but he's playing.
I was gonna say he's probably getting paid.
He's paying a lot of money playing stadiums. Chris Stapleton's his opening act. Anyway, so so anyway, we got him, and then we got Tony Moore, of course, and we did the 2 records, and it was in that deal. And then I parted ways for a while because of discrepancies with management and money, and they did the Mike DeMeo era, which was a little more rainbow white snaky. And then throughout the years, Mark and Bobby came back and said, look, a lot of people want the Thunderstill lineup. So he asked, do you want to reunite? So we did in 2008. And Tony came back, and we released Immortal Soul. We got a record deal, and we put that one out, and that was the Thunderstill reunion. And we started playing, and Mark was having health issues. He always had them, but they started getting worse. He had Crohn's disease, and he started taking a lot of the pills and going through hell. I remember I would have to take him to the hospital a couple times a week.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'd just peek in the room. He was in my house. He was in my guest room. I'd peek in on him, make sure everything was cool. So it was a tough time seeing him go through that. And some shows he couldn't even show up. And that's what happened one time. We went and did this show on a ship, and he passed away. And it really, 4 guys crying on a ship, just totally tore up, and then it got to the point where, what do we do? And it's like what you were saying. We're like, it's done. It's finished. So, at that time, we were like, yeah, it's done. And we didn't want to do anything else. We just started living our lives. And then, the record label, we were under contract still. And they go, we understand Mark passed. Is that it? Or do you want to do another record? And I said, we don't know yet. We got to do it the right way. So Mike Flint's was real, didn't want to do it. He took it the worst. And I said, well, maybe we can keep going for the legacy and for Mark. And so, we talked to some members, and we talked to Mark's dad, Tony Reale. He's 90 years old now, and we still take care of him. There's no family. His wife died. Mark was an only child.
Wow.
We flew him down. Mark wanted to, he wanted to be buried in Texas. He's not too far from me. And we flew his dad down. We still take care of him. And we said, and then of course, all the 5-way split goes to his father with Mark's music and stuff. So I remember Mark's dad just going, don't bury Mark's music. That's the only way he is still alive, with, y'all performing and stuff. And that was like, oh my God. So it was like, let's do it. So I started writing demos, and I was continuing on. Bobby couldn't do it anymore. He was playing with too many bands. Tony Moore was getting old. He couldn't sing high. He didn't want to do it no more. So I wrote demos, and I looked for a singer, and I found Todd Michael Hall. Believe it or not, a German friend turned me on to him, even though Todd lives in Detroit or Michigan area. I know it took a German guy to tell me. And so I found Todd, and I did some research on him, and I saw him playing with Jack Starr and other bands, you know, and he looked great, you know, he's like Hercules, his
Yeah,
long hair and, you know, six pack, and, you know, he's good looking. That doesn't hurt, lead singer.
Mm.
So then I heard his voice is incredible. You know, he had that voice, that high voice, you know, and so
Yeah.
I put him on the demos. I had 2 songs, and I sent them to the label. And the demos were me playing everything, drum machine, bass. I'm a guitar player. I played the dual leads all the way, everything. Sent it to him. The label freaked out. Oh my God, this is great. He would be proud. Got to go forward. Okay. Mark's dad was like, yes. Then finally, Mike Flintz goes, all right, let's do it the right way, though. Let's don't do it like a lot of bands are like, you know, it's a brand, you know, and we were like that. No, we're continuing on the right way. When I joined in '88, we continue that Thunderstill pattern of music. You know, we still like the old rock stuff and we play it for the fans, you know, and stuff like that, but out of respect to Mark, you know, and the fans and stuff. You got our 2 biggest albums are Fire Down Under a Thunderstill. So we play a lot of music from those still. So when that happened, we found musicians, you know, besides Todd, we looked for a drummer and we found Frankie Gilchrist from Virgin Steel in Leisler. He's a great guy, lives in Jersey. And then the young kid we have, Nick Lee, he was one of Mike Flintz's guitar students because Mike owns a guitar school, but he's young, but he's old school. He likes old metal rock. He plays through a, you know, Les Paul, Marshall Stack, you know, he's not one of those guys. So when we recorded this stuff for real, we were like, wow, everybody brought their magic and the demos turned real. And then all of a sudden we got, you know, Bruno produced it, and he's produced a couple records. Bruno Ravel, he's in, you know, from Danger.
Yeah.
And he did a project with Mark and Tony Harnell, Westworld. But that's where it started. And the label loved it. And we said, okay, let's see if the fans appreciate what we're doing and let's play. So we went to Europe. We did some festivals and stuff, and the crowd was still there. They were going nuts, you know, and the record sold good. And we were like, wow, okay, well, then people are appreciated. You got some old schoolers, questionable here and there, but we're continuing on for the legacy. And it did good enough for us to get a big record deal with Nuclear Blast, who's the biggest record label for metal.
Yeah.
And so they signed us and we did Armor of Light. And that one was more of a very hard record. We had a production was real, you know, a lot of samples the guy did, you know, it was cool. But when Frankie plays double bass, it sounds like a train. So the production of it was okay and people questioned it, but it was a good record. We did some Primal Fear, Heimerfall touring and stuff. So that was great. So, you know, it's just been like that where we're moving forward and everybody's appreciating what we're doing. And then this new record, it took us 6 years because of the lockdown, 3 producers, you know, it was just like a bunch of stuff happened to the band. And one thing is, it's a record, the same lineup for 3 records. Never happened in Riot's history. So we're proud that we have the same guys, because Rock City after Rock City, it was a different lineup. After Narita, it was a different, you know, every time Mark, you know, so we're proud of that and we're moving forward. So Mean Streets means a lot to us that we're still moving forward in the legacy of the band. And the 6 years was half because of the COVID lockdown. It put everything on hold besides, you know, the studios, marketing, the labels. Gigs are hard to get. When we tried to go to Europe, Italy wanted you to go there for 2 weeks lockdown. This one wanted to back this, you know, it's like, you can't do that. It's got to be back to normalcy. And we didn't want to release till the time was right. So we took our time. We wrote 20 songs and we picked the best 12. And we had the same guy that produced Armor of Light produce it. And he made it sound real metal. And the label goes, we want to go back to the roots, you know. So he got his money and went by the wayside. Then we got these other 2 cats out of New York, out of Long Island, and they produced it. And it sounded pretty good, but we were still not satisfied. So they went by the wayside. So we're going, okay, we're 2 producers deep. Yeah. And money too, you know, spending the money on it. So finally, you know, we got Bruno again, because the label kept going, get Bruno Ravel, man. He makes y'all sound big, melodic, you know, he comes from the old school. I mean, he's not in, come on, that sticks in your head, you know what I mean? So he's the guy like, you can't look past that. Yeah, you can't pass that. So basically, you know, with the way we wrote the album, we did think about this, having the time off, I told the guys, I said, you know what, let's do a record for the whole Riot family. I said, let's not just do Thundersteel music and a few things. I go, I'm going to reach back and I'm going to write a song like Overdrive. I'm going to write a song like Road Racing. I said, I want to like do the whole Riot, so that's why I ended up writing, well, I wrote like Hell to the Warriors. It's that fast tempo. You got to begin the album off with, hitting them in the face.
Yeah.
Right
yeah.
after it, I wrote Feel the Fire. Now that's like, what the hell is that? It's an old school rocker. It has like Judas Priest Grinder, Led Zeppelin breakdown, the big harmonies like, Striper or TNT. And Bruno was like, this song is so good. And so we felt like, let's do that. So that's why this record not only has the power metal, we have hard rock songs on here too, and even some AOR songs, commercial songs. We call them bank rock. Mark used to call them, let's write a bank rock. Blood Streets was a bank rock, and so that's a good one. And then, lean into it towards the end of the album. Oh my God, you can hear that on the radio, but so we wanted this a well-rounded record. So we're happy with the way it came out, and the song choice that we did. So hopefully everybody likes it, and you guys like it.
Yeah, I really like the variety, and he already pulled Grinder out as soon as
I pulled Grinder out right after she played me the one song. Yeah,
you're like they ripped off Grinder.
Well, no, the riff's a little different.
No, it's different.
Riff's a little different, yeah. But listen, I wanted to ask you. You were talking about Thundersteel, the cover. I've always wanted to ask this. The cover for Thundersteel does not have the seal on it, and the guy is like connected to the tank. Do you know anything about the artwork, like why it was picked and what's the story behind it?
Voldemort. No, what happened is when we changed gears, the last record before that was Born in America, which had the seal. So they were thinking with the music change gears. So actually Tony Moore, the singer, had a friend in New York City that was an artist, and he did like cartoon Marvel kind of stuff. So he said, how about this? This will be Thunder. We said the album's Thundersteel. So that's his version of Thundersteel. And we're going like, it's kind of different. Usually we have the seal, but we were like, okay, well, if we're shifting gears, let's go ahead and try it. But it's funny, if you look on back of some of when they re-released the record and stuff like that, they have a little Johnny on the very back. He's tiny. He's tiny on the back of the record, but he's like Mighty Mouse. He's in a cape like this, but it's a seal head. So
cool.
we said we at least got to have him on there. But yeah, it was like an artist from Tony, and he decided to do it like a Marvel hero and stuff. That's why it came out. It was totally different. And even on the next record, Privilege of Power, when it was just the TV sets, we said one of the TV sets has to have a seal. So if you look at the TV set, there's a seal in one.
Oh yeah, I caught that. Yeah.
I mean, bands like Iron Maiden have Eddie the Head. Megadeth has Rivet Head.
Yeah,
it's got a cute little seal.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
So on Privilege of Power, you bring that up. Like who was the one that had the idea for like the horns and the like the different instruments that went on that? Was that?
Oh my God. Well, it was a producer thing. Steve Loeb and them that did Thundersteel, and they did every record up to Rock City and stuff, and they did a few more after that. There was a little discrepancy with them. You've probably seen the documentaries in them, so it was kind of weird. But anyway, they were in there, and they thought it would be cool to kind of do like this weird concept album with people. And at the time, we recorded in Green Street Studios in New York, where Rock City was recorded. I mean, all the albums Far Down In were there. So we were there, and at the time, Tower of Power and the Brecker Brother horn section were there, and these guys played with Springsteen and everybody. And they said, "Hey, what about if we do, there's Killer." This Joe Lynn Turner sang it, and with Tony, and they were like, let's check it out with horns, and there goes my dog right now. Anyway, so you have yours, I have mine. So anyway, they just thought, let's try it. We're freaking out. We're going, what? I mean, we love bands with horns, don't get us wrong. I love Chicago and I love that kind of stuff. But, with metal at the time, they just kind of wanted to, try something different and be unique. And we thought it came out sounding pretty good. I mean, you can't argue with a horn section like that playing on your record. And so they did that. And then they decided to do, have them on Your Knees. like horns on the fastest song. I was like, wow. So they did it. And we thought, hey, it's really cool. And we like that stuff. And then Flavor Flav and Grandmaster Flash, they were in there, used to record all their albums in there. So when you hear scratching on Your Knees, that's them. We had T.M. Stevens from he played with Whitney Houston. He played with Springsteen. He played some funk bass lines on there. G.E. Smith from the Saturday Night Live band. He played with Hall & Oates. He played the intro to Marianne. So they were just getting all these people in there. And then Joe Lynn Turner, the big singer from Rainbow, they had him, come in and do a duet with Tony. So all those things were really cool. The kind of things we didn't like so much was the in-between things. When it takes it a whole 2 minutes to get to Metal Warrior, I mean Metal Soldiers. We're like, hello, so sitting, it's like, dude, step away from the cocaine for a second. Only make it like, maybe like 10 seconds long. What I mean?
A lot of records had that back in that.
Well, of course, because, we all did that in the 80s and 90s. So, but anyway, so it was a cool record. The only complaint, and I see about people, is they say the little intros and stuff like that. And I understand, but it's a great record, Speaking of, as a matter of fact, on the Japanese release of Mean Streets, the new album, they always try to do a little extra bonus tracks and stuff. So whereas Atomic Fire, they're doing some stuff with cards and different things. Well, the Japanese version, they're doing like some live tracks that we did with Loudness. We played Metal Weekend in Japan with Loudness, and so we play Crazy Nights with them. They play Warrior with us. That's going to be on there. But one of the other bonus tracks, or actually two of them, one of them is what I was just talking about, Joe Lynn Turner. When they did the medley on Killer, basically Tony sang it all by himself, Joe sang it all by himself, and then they picked and chose for each verse. Well, what we did on this, they remixed it, and now it's Killer with just Joe Lynn Turner singing the whole song. So it's kind of cool. And another cool thing is that I was telling you about, we actually recorded Sign of the Crimson Storm on Thunderstill, but we did demo it with Sandy Slavin and Rhett Forrester. That's remixed and on the record with the original when I was in. So that's going to be a good one to grab.
Yeah.
You have a crazy history with your Japanese fans. How did that happen? Was it just the 2018 tour? Or?
Man, it was one of the things was the fact that Riot had never been to Japan. So we were representing the whole Rock City through Born in America. So that was Riot's first appearance. So the band, they had a relationship with them through albums. The Japanese labels always loved it. They always had Narita, it's a Japanese airport, the whole 9 yards. So they always had that stuff. And so when we first went over there, and this is funny, we go over there and it's like, first of all, they pick us up in limos, treating us like, gods or whatever. We're like, wow, this is cool. We're going over there and there's like a couple hundred people standing around the hotel, kimonos. We see all that shit. And we're like, wow, they're having a wedding here. That's cool. Wedding and stuff like that. Next thing we know, we're sitting in the thing, me and Mark, and the door opens and the guy goes, this is not a wedding. This is here for you. And we're like, what? And next thing we know, two big security guards like walk us through the crowd in through the hotel. And we were going like, what the hell is going on here?
That's
it was
awesome.
It was like Beatles. It was like Beatles for us. So they get everybody inside, and we're waving to the fans, through the window and all that. And just from there, they've just been like that. And when we played the shows, we played this huge hall, and it was booked by, this Mr. Udo. He was the big promoter, Udo Productions. He brought Michael Jackson and he brought Riot to this big hall by herself, no opening act, 3 nights in a row, sold out. And we were just like, this is incredible. So that's when we started the relationship. And then the next time we went, super huge. And to this day, and this lineup, we go over there, and we're going over there in July. Same thing. We go over there. It's not as many people, but there are, at least 50 to 100 people wanting pictures or at our hotel and stuff like that. And they're always sold out and stuff. So basically in Japan, we're like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden. We get up to that level. Unfortunately, we have to travel 16 hours to be a rock star.
Wow.
But, but it's cool, and there's certain markets like we're Greece, is a great market for us in Germany and stuff like that. But that's where the Japanese thing came, and we always had that relationship with them. I wrote a song for them on Unleash the Fire when we did Riot 5, Land of the Rising Sun, and I wrote it about our first trip there. And so it's just been one of them things, man. They're great people.
Yeah.
I love your varied subject matter, especially, this album, it's just like one song, Feel the Fire, you're singing about kind of like love and relationship and passion. And then you go to High Noon and it's like the Western. Where do you get all your different ideas from? Or does it just come to you?
Yeah, I when I wrote High Noon, I wrote the lyrics to most of my songs. I write lyrics. Mike Todd writes lyrics to all of Mike's songs. He didn't write lyrics, but High Noon, I went back to I had that power metal feel like I did. It's almost like the old Wings of Eagles or Dance of Death from early Riot stuff I wrote. I kind of wanted that riff, but whenever I write music, I still channel Mark, because he was my mentor too, kind of, because I was a young metal kid playing in Slayer, and and he used to teach me how to go like, well, going but do this, shining into the night, you like a fly of the world. I'm like, what a great anthem song. So I kind of like, I think of that. And Mark was real into Westerns. He was one of those guys like outlaw, restless breed, gunfire, so I thought, I'm going to write some Western lyrics to this one. So I just sat back and I came up with these Western lyrics and I incorporated them in there. And then Todd came up with a couple ideas for the chorus, High Noon, makes it real catchy, underneath the sun, all that little subtleties. Man, it made it real good. So when it came out, we were like, wow, that's a good one. The label loved it first. That's why they released it as a lyric video. They said, let's not scare them with Feel the Fire. Let's do one of your known metal songs.
Yeah.
You old guys dancing, jamming around with this young girl, let's wait for that one.
That's cool. I should have figured that out about Mark with like Outlaw and Swords of Tequila. It's all sitting there. Like, yeah, obviously he was into that stuff. Yeah.
He loved Westerns. That's why he lived in Texas with me for so long. He would watch the movies. I remember going camping with him. We went into El Paso, Big Bend, Chisholm Mountain, and we literally they call it a primitive camp or something, where we had a tent. And we built a campfire, and he would sit with his acoustic guitar and sing Willie, and then he would sing Western music. It was just crazy, and he was just one of those guys. He enjoyed it. He was one of those cats.
What was Love Beyond the Grave about?
Well, actually, Frank, that's a Mike Flint song, and he brought that to the table, and it was real long at first. And Todd wrote the lyrics. And then Frankie came in. Frank, the drummer, wrote, helped with the lyrics for that one. He also wrote the Open Road lyrics. Frank helps with the lyrics, but he actually wrote that. Love Beyond the Grave, they just thought about this, and they wanted a video of it too. They wanted this, vampire zombie woman coming out, the same thing. They wanted to do this. It's love from beyond the grave, besides now it's, we're feeling love, from the past and all that for him. But anyway, they wanted to do that, and it is going to be, after we release the second real video, which is Mean Streets, we're going to do this video for Love Beyond the Grave. When Mike wrote it, he had this he's a guitar player, so he has to have, 5-minute guitar intro. So we're like, chop it down to a minute. So you got to get to the hard loving man part, so he finally gets to the hard loving man. And then so we all, Todd came up with the lyrics and stuff like that. And then on the chorus, Mike went back to the intro with his real long and gothy, and he was having this, and I actually wrote the chorus. I said, let's go back like Hard Loving Man. After you finish the verse, you go back to the down like Hard Loving Man. I'm a hard love, goes back. I go, but let's do a chant. So I go, love from beyond the grave. And then Mike goes, that's a great idea. So that was an effort from the whole band. So we edited some stuff. We took out some stuff, not make it so long, and we put that chorus in there. And that one, that's probably my favorite Mike Flint song.
Yeah,
it's a great song.
The documentary, the Fight or Fall documentary, is so great. I wish more bands would do that because the way it connects the old and the new is perfect. And I just the original manager when he talks about like trying to break the band and the original singer leaving and all, it just breaks your heart. I mean, that what was it like? What was it? Whose idea was it to make that? I mean, like to bridge the old and the new like that.
Well, we've had like a few documentaries come out. There was a recent one that came out. Another guy did one. Martin Popoff did a book
Okay,
and
yeah.
a little bit of a video talking about the history of the band. And I think what people like is that the band has been, through so much change, member changes, everything, and still is playing to this date. So it's an interesting story. Fight or Fall was done by the Metal Voice and Giles Lavery. They saw the same thing. They said, we got to cover the past. There was a lot of past and footage with Guy and Rhett Forrester. And then they had footage of the Thunderstill lineup. And it was just, they brought it. And these people just love the story. They're like, this is great. We have to cover because, you guys have been doing this forever with different lineup changes and members and stuff. So they saw something there. And the new guy came out with One Immortal Soul just recently, and he's been posting it everywhere. And he's a new guy. He never even heard of Riot. He saw us at Keep It True. It was a German festival. And we played, and he got off stage. He says, I've never heard of you. You blew me away. This is a great. We said, dude, this band's going to be 50 years old soon. What? He couldn't believe it. So he started looking, and he goes, oh my God, first record in 77? I said, yeah. And then he did this whole thing, talked to people, and then they put it out. I mean, it's cool that people, are so enamored by the band that they want to put this out. I just said, we need to make a motion picture. We'd make Anvil's movie look like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going like, well,
I had, I go all the way back. I go all the way back. I had Fire Down Under on cassette because I couldn't find it on vinyl. It was hard to find in the United States when it came out. And I would let people borrow. I'd be like, this is right up there with Van Halen 1, Holy Diver. This is that level, but it's an American band,
Oh
Just,
yeah.
I always felt that way about that record. And then the way that Guy left, it was like the part that breaks my heart is like that Riot got the opening slot on the Moving Pictures tour, and that was when he said, I can't do it anymore. Oh,
It was yeah, Mark told me the stories. There's a lot of stuff when I wasn't a part of. Mark told me all this stuff where he's from a very strong Italian family, and they didn't like the way the rock and roll thing was going. He wasn't making a lot of money, and they couldn't take care of his daughter, and when he married an Italian girl, and it was just he married Gina, and they ended up wanting to try to do something family oriented, and they said Riot's not Metallica or Van Halen. You're not going to make you're not going to settle down. So they were worried about that. So Guy, and the band had momentum because not only the Rush tour, they were looking big managements were looking at him, but he just had enough of the management, taking.
But nobody ever spray painted the Metallica logo on the record company walls.
That's right.
I love that part of the story. They could make that into a movie. I mean, that is awesome.
I know, and it's crazy that because I was like you, when I was growing up, Fire Down Under, I was already, I liked Rock City and Narita, but when Fire Down Under came out, forget about it. That was, that was an anthem, that record, and it's just too many things, Guy did that, and then replacing him, Mark didn't go with a guy that sounds like him. Switched gears drastically. He got Rhett Forrester, who's a great singer, but he was more of a Southern rock singer. Why is my dog barking? Be quiet.
I heard that years later. I heard that years later, Scott Ian from Anthrax tried to get Guy for Anthrax, and he was like, "Fuck that! No, I'm done."
Yeah. He was. Guy turned into a exterminator. True story. When you read that about him, he was exterminator. And some people say he got his cancer from that, but I don't know the truth. But we heard Anthrax was trying to get him at one point, for the whole switch. Yeah, that they said that was true, but Guy died of cancer, and then Rhett Forrester, Mark said, Mark was into Bad Company and Free, Paul
Yeah.
Rogers. I want a
Yeah,
guy
you can
like
hear
that.
that on that record. Yeah.
Yeah, and like when it was like almost when the Thunder Still came out, Riot fans were like, "What the fuck is this?" It's just like Guy Speranza, going to Red Forest, so people are going, "What the fuck is this?" But they're going like, "Well, it grew on you, Hard Loving Man." I mean, the album started growing on you. We're like,
Yeah.
"It's Riot, it's different, but it's good music." And then after a more rocking album with a singer like that, then we go to Judas Priest. We go to like
Right.
Thunder
Yeah.
Still. People are like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
But it turned out good. It's just one of the Marx used to tell me, the band's longevity is through good music, and if the band can keep putting it out, you'll continue. If you don't write a dud, or if you keep writing stuff, but you just got to keep writing good music. Many lineups, good music. So that's kind of how it is. But that's why people do documentaries. They cover the past. Now they're covering the future. They're like, and these guys are continuing on, and it's like we're doing it out of respect to the family, to the legacy. We're still friends with Rick Ventura. I know Peter Bitelli from Rock City. He lives, not too far from me here. And, we're doing it the right way. It's not a cash cow. It's never been. And I put the fifth chapter. Todd's the fifth singer, and it's my era from Thunder Still. So we're doing it, we got one of the original guys from, that era. And so we're doing it like that. And we're continuing on with good music. And as long as the fans are happy and having us and come out, that's what makes it worth it. When there's no money, at least I get to see Italy. I get to go to Spain. We meet the culture. We really like that. We like to see the culture, go to the Colosseum, go to the Parthenon, eat the food, where it's like that, and meet the fans. We're not one of those bands with a paid meet and greet. It's like, dude, you bought my album. You bought 1 million albums. You just bought a ticket. I'm going to charge you to take a picture with me. Get over here. You know what I mean?
What's some of your favorite stuff to play from like the old? Well, I mean, you got so many records to pull from. I mean, like, what's some of your favorite old stuff to play?
God, man, it's I tell people, because they go, what's going to be on your new set list for the new tour? And I'm like, well, if we played 1 or 2 songs from each record, we'd playing for 5 hours. And they're going like, and I'm like, well,
that's quite a show.
Yeah. I just turned 61 like 2 weeks ago. It's like, come on, my neck is still intact. I'm drinking tequila. Give me a break. No, but anyway, so we try to, obviously you got to play the new album, and we want to, but we don't want to just like not play anything else, because there's been some bands, even Maiden once, they went out and did all the new record. I'm like,
they're famous for that.
That's cool.
I said,
but people want to hear Trooper. People want to hear Running Free. I mean, so what we're going to do is we're going to probably play 3 or 4 from this one. We'll play a couple from Armor of Light, a couple from Unleash the Fire. That'll take care of Riot 5. And then, of course, our 2 biggest records, Thunder Still and Fire Down Under. We always got to do Outlaw. We got to do Swords and Tequila, and sometimes we'll do Don't Hold Back. And we've been doing Fire Down Under the last festival. So we'll do 4 from there. You got to do Thunder Still, Fight or Fall, Johnny's Back, Flight of the Warrior, and Blood Street. So we got to do those. Then we go back, and we started playing. We used to play the same stuff. We said, let's do some earlier. So we started playing Overdrive off of Rock City. And that's like, we never played that. We always play Warrior. When we go to Japan, we play Tokyo Rose and Rock City. So we try to incorporate that. And then you go to Narita, it's like, okay, we're going to play Road Racing. And then we started playing 49er. And then people were like, okay, we're going to do Hot for Love. You're going to do Kick Down the Wall. It's like, wait a minute. So we try
There's so many good songs. Yeah.
Pick songs, and then we started doing stuff from the Rhett era, and, Todd does it justice, even though it's the more bluesier voice. So we started doing, besides Hard Loving Man, we started doing the title track, Restless Breed, Heavy Metal Machine. So we try to pick, we try to make it a well-rounded set list to please everybody. Mm-hmm. So we do stuff from the first album to the very last album. At least we're doing that. We're doing DeMeo stuff, Nightbreaker, Angel Eyes. You got to include all that stuff. There's so many eras. But, when you're headlining, you got a full hour and a half, 2 hours. It's fine. When we're doing a festival, and they want you on and off in an hour or 45 minutes, then you got to like cut it down to 10 songs. It's what? So it makes it tough. But we do our best to please the crowd. We don't think of ourselves. We think of the fans when they're out in the audience looking at us. What do they want to hear? They want to hear some classics. You know, they want to have a good time. So that's what we do. You know, we think of the fans when we play and when we write music. We write Riot style music because that's what they come.
It sounds like it. Yeah. I mean, I love the way that you're like, you know, where's the fight or fall, or where's the we need a Swords and Tequila type of riff here, you know. Yeah, I love that. That's great.
You got to, you know, and even on some of this stuff, you know, hi. There's my wife right there. Look, you can see him and his wife. Come. You don't have to be on camera. Come here. Anyway,
that's
yeah. Anyway, so I try to channel Riot's music and I write stuff, you know, like Mortal Eyes. It was a fast road racing kind of bass lick in the beginning. Lean into it, overdrive drum beat. I mean, you just want to like familiarity is really, really good with the fans. And I think, you know, I think all the songs are pretty good. So we'll have to see. You know, we're excited to get out and play and do this tour that's coming up in May.
It's funny. We're talking about you having so much great music to pull from. Reminds me when I went to Monsters of Rock and it was Sammy Hagar's first with Van Halen, and they started playing cover songs, and I was like, "Fuck off! This band is done. You've got 9 fantastic records, and you're fucking playing the Who? Go to hell! This band is dead to me." You know?
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? Hello.
I was like 15 years old, and I was still like, "Fuck off!" Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I always, like I tell Mike, I write to. You know, I'll write a song to the guy in the front row in a jean vest with patches, holding a mug of beer, spilling it, going fire down under.
That's your target audience.
I'm like, that is my target right there. I want this guy to sing while we're playing music and stuff.
That's great.
So yeah, I mean, I do that. I take that into consideration. It's a legacy that I loved before I joined, and once I joined, the love even got more. And then now that I continue on for Mark, it's just one of them things that I told him I would do it, and I would do it the right way. And, you know, I just went and talked to him the other day, man. His grave's like, you know, literally like 5 miles from my house here. I'm in Texas, and that's where he's buried. And I'll sit there and talk to him. I'll tell him, say, bro, 17th record coming out. Thank you, man. We do this for you, you know. And he's sitting there, you know, and you know, he's probably going, okay, you're going to give up soon. I'm like, no, you know, 61, I'm still going, you know, I mean.
God. No, he never gave up. I mean, I remember like the Inishmore era and all. I love that. I was like, is anyone else buying this stuff but me? I mean, those were lean years for metal, you know?
Oh yeah. They were, that era was good. That was one of the eras, the DeMeo era after Thunderstill. Yeah. They had so many great songs, but people weren't picking up on the vibe that much. So it was popular, but not like, you know, what was happening, you know. So we still try to at least represent a couple songs from that. Mike's a great singer. He's went on to do a lot of stuff. He's like the backup singer and keyboard player for Tommy James and the Shondells, that old, you know, 50s band. Yeah,
that's so cool.
He does that, man. And, you know, Bobby's with George Strait. It's just like, what the hell?
Got to pay the bills.
Yeah. Mark played with Bonnie Tyler for a while. I mean, it's like,
that's great.
Holy cow. I recorded the last 2 Alcatraz records, you know. I mean, I'm not touring with him, but I did the bass for Gary Shea.
So you brought up Alcatraz. So think about this. You probably already thought about this, but if you're the guitar player for Graham Bonnet's band, you have to be able to play Michael Schenker, Yngwie Malmsteen,
Steve Vai.
Steve Vai. Yeah, basically, like every song is ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, you have to, Richie Blackmore.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy if you think about it? Like, and it's just the Graham Bonnet band, but all of his hits are with these crazy guitar players, you know?
They had a great career. I mean, they're still continuing on, but Graham's not there and Yngwie. So it's like,
right.
I think it's just one guy now, Waldo. Shay's still doing it, but he had something going on. So they asked me if I would at least do the 2 records. So I did the last one with Graham Bonnet, and then I did the one when they got Doogie. So I'm on the last 2 Alcatraz, and I love them. You know, that's cool. It's one of my all-time favorite bands. You know, so
I would not want to have to learn those guitar solos, though. I'll tell you what.
No. Even the new guitar player, Joe Strump, he's really good.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
All right, so we play a little game on the show. It's 5 random questions with Stace. That's me.
Okay.
So I have 100 questions in front of me. So I want you to pick 5 random numbers.
Okay. I just have to pick a random number.
Yep, and then that'll correspond to a question. We'll
One
ask.
through one through how much?
100.
So just
One-
five
one through
five
100.
numbers. 1 through 100.
Okay. How about unlucky 13?
Okay.
Let's do my age 61. Let's do 69. And then
Always
let's
good.
do, how many is that? 4?
It's 3.
3. I need 2 more.
Yep.
How about my gal's age 43? And then let's do 50. Bullseye.
Okay.
All right, number 13. What would be on your ultimate sandwich?
Sandwich?
Yes.
Okay. At first, I thought you said set list. I said, "Oh, that's
We
easy."
covered that. We
Deep
covered that.
Purple, Judas Priest.
Yeah.
No, my sandwich, my ultimate sandwich would probably be. Well, it depends. I mean, I'm a Asian eater, so I like that kind of stuff. But my ultimate sandwich would be smoked turkey breast with avocado and jalapenos.
Ooh,
right.
we love a jalapeno.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
grow our own. Yep.
That would be mine, and I get those at Schlatzky's sometimes.
Although those sushi burritos are out of this world too.
Yeah. I like fish. I like fish sandwiches too.
61. Are you a patient waiter or are you impatient? Impatient?
Oh, well, it depends on what it is, but in traffic, I'm very impatient.
Okay.
If I got a lady, her credit card's not going through the machine at the grocery store, I'm impatient. But I mean, there's always, if there's a little old lady walking across the street, I'm patient. You know what I mean? So I'm in between. It depends on the situation.
Right.
I am patient. I will deal with it, but there are some things like get the hell out of the way.
I have a hard time with the little old lady counting out the exact change.
That's
13, 14. That's hard.
That's almost the thing that the grocery store,
Yeah,
when they're doing the change, or they're like, they're looking for it and go, this coupon doesn't work, and it's just like,
no.
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm nice, but I'm like,
Well, it's like, here's $1. Just move on.
Yep, exactly.
69. How much time do you spend reading labels at the food store?
Well, I actually, at first, I would just get stuff, and I would get stuff that says sugar free, or I'd get stuff that says good for you, and then actually my gal, Megan, she is a label reader. So what she goes, don't believe sugar free, because when you look on there, there's still sugar in there, but there's certain things. So basically, when I tried to lose a little bit of my physique here, I was like, I got a keg, Todd's got a 6-pack. So when I try to work on this, I'm going like I'm trying to eat better. So we will, I will read a label where it says, the, stuff like cholesterol and this and that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I try to eat healthy. So I do read labels like that. But for some stuff, I'm not going to read the label on my tequila bottle. I'm like, it's tequila.
Yeah. Better not knowing.
Yeah. What do you think I look so young for? Come on. That's my vaccine.
It's called well fermented. We use the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's see. 43. What is the worst behaved pet that you have ever had, and what did they do?
Oh God. Well, the one I have now, is great. But I've had some when I was growing up. My dad used to love basset hounds, and they were crazy. They just wobbled around the whole time. But we've had cats, and the dog I have now, Molly, she's like 18. She's old, but
wow.
She's doing great. She's running around right now. She's a multi-poo. And she's great. She's loving. She's like, she's like our daughter. We're pet people. And so the only thing annoying about her when she barks at everything, like she was earlier, it's like, it's not the mailman, it's a tree, it's a branch. Calm down. It's just a branch, going like that or something. She'll hear that. But other than that, we had a pet named Paco when I was growing up, and it was a parrot. It was a bird, and the thing would just talk. It would say everything. We'd be watching TV. My dad would be like, honey, bring me a beer. Honey, bring me a beer. It was like, it's almost like, when you're watching the TV show and the guy goes, Alexa, and then, your whole shit goes off.
Right.
You're watching a game show and the guy goes, and it goes off. So anyway, the bird was like that constantly. And the only way at night we'd put like a cover over the thing, but it would still make noise and flutter around and stuff like that. I mean, it was annoying, but you loved it. I'm a pet person. So like, although it was annoying, you still dig it. Just like my dog now. She's annoying sometimes, but she's my whole world.
Yeah, we had 2 parakeets and they were really bad. And I remember when they died, like no one was upset. We were just like, all right. Like every other pet that died, we were like really struck down. But when the parakeets died, it was like, all right, let's just move on. There was no shedding of tears.
We had I had one that's even this is crazy and worse than that. We had a hamster, and we had 2 hamsters. One died, and one was getting very sick, eye problems, all this stuff, and my gal was like, it's just a hamster. It's going to die. Put it in the garbage can. But, it wasn't like that. We called it Little Buddy. And when it started feeling sick and being weird and the eye was like going away, we took it to PetSmart. And I remember the lady was holding this hamster with a stethoscope on it. I took a picture. I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. But anyway, that's a true story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
Oh, my God.
A hamster.
Yeah.
All right. Number 50. What toppings do you like on a pizza?
A lot of food questions today. Here.
Yeah, that's cool. Toppings on the pizza are easy. We get our favorite pizza from Papa John's. We like their more natural toppings. Even my gal, she'll make pizza and it's good. But what we like all the time, she'll put on the whole pizza, we'll put her toppings, which is Canadian bacon, bell pepper, and mushrooms. And then on mine, I like a couple extra meats. So I'll put the Italian sausage, spicy Italian sausage, and then hamburger meat. But I have it on that side. So it's got all on the whole thing, but on my side, just the extra meat. That's my favorite. I don't do pineapple. Jalapenos I like, but I eat them on the side. You have to say, can I get jalapenos on the side? Because I love jalapenos. I like spicy food.
Yeah, we do too. Yeah.
We're from Baltimore. There's this place by us that it's crazy. They make a surf and turf pizza. It's got steak and crab meat on it. It's really good.
Yeah,
that's my new favorite right now. Wow. Steak and crab, lobster, what's really crab? Good. Oh my God.
Yeah, that thing. It's like, I don't know, for a small like $29, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah.
So you guys have a big tour coming up, European, lots of Germany dates. Is there also a Germany
time? Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Wave.
There we go.
What's his name?
Their dog's right there, and they had the cat running around. Hi, this is Molly. She's an old lady. Here,
Molly.
Baby.
You said 18. Wow. She looks good for 18. Yeah.
Come in and say hi.
Ours is asleep.
Say hi.
Hey.
Anyway, it's the record's supposed to come out February 16th, and they pushed it back to April 12th. And it was kind of, the excitement was building, and they kind of pushed it back with the label changing and all sorts of things going on. So it kind of works out though, because now April 12th, 2 weeks later, it starts, May, the tour. So it kind of goes together. And we always do Europe, like I said, here, Riot has that kind of vibe here. In Europe, huge. So we're starting in Warsaw, Poland. Great fucking place. We played there. Doing all of Germany. Germany is a big place for Riot, the Netherlands, all that. We're going to get to all that, but we're doing like 2.5 weeks there. And then after that, we're going to do some US states. The guy's booking them. But besides that, we're doing Wacken Festival, Sweden Rock, Japan in January, with Australia, South America in September. We're doing some accept dates in Germany, and then stateside they have something lined up in we do it like this because unless we're out with a band and we got the bus and it's with a couple drawing bands, that's one thing. But if it's just us, after the lockdown, a lot of venues, they don't chill out a lot. They don't want you to play on a Tuesday in Muskogee. Like, who's going to come? So sometimes we'll do like a Thursday through Sunday. We'll fly out to LA and we'll do we'll do like, Hollywood. We'll play the Whiskey. We'll do San Francisco, San Diego, and then we'll keep going up. And we'll do Oregon and stuff like that. And then we fly back. We do Texas. We fly to the East Coast. We'll do we have some dates they're booking right now in Jersey and Pittsburgh, New York and stuff like that. Maybe Baltimore.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Baltimore in ever. What was the big club there? Hammerhead? No,
Hammerjacks.
Hammerjacks.
Yeah.
Remember we played there. We played there on the Thundersteel tour, Hammerjack. They don't have it no more, right?
They
redid it.
and it wasn't quite the
there's
same.
There's like kind of a Starbucksy version of it now.
The old one,
Oh,
I used
boy.
to go see Kicks like regularly.
Yeah, that was the
always there.
Yeah, Kicks
Oh,
and
yeah,
Hammerjacks
yeah.
was the big draw. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of clubs are turning into that side.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll
it's 10,
get out
it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. Fuck off. We have a DJ that's coming on.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like that vibe,
That's happened to us in Spain. We play this giant venue, and man, right at it's an early show, because they bring in all that other people. We literally will go on at 7 o'clock and we'll play, and then we'll end. And at 10, they get all the people out, and they're even standing there while we're loading equipment out. And all of a sudden, it's booty fest.
Yeah, it happened to me, and I'm like, I'm buying beer here. I mean, you're really gonna throw me out?
Yeah. Where people are drinking tequila because we're here. Now we got booty music playing. What
it makes no sense at all, but whatever.
I know. So, but anyway, so we'll be out there. We got our agent said that Queensryche and Armor Saint are doing that little run. They want us to do 2 weeks in Des Moines, Iowa, starting, just a little thing. So those we can kind of play a lot. But when we're doing it by ourselves, we got to strategically pick places that'll pay us, and it's traveling in there and stuff like that. So, but it looks like we're going to be busy, and I hope people, come out and they dig the new record.
It's a really good album.
Yeah, it is. It's
really good.
It's great. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. We're excited. We like the videos. The next video y'all love. It's the title track. Mean Streets comes out with the album on April 12th. We have the character in there. We got an actor with a seal head.
That's great.
Leather jacket on, and he's drinking with us. It's crazy.
Oh,
how hot was that and Feel the Fire with all those pyrotechnics going off?
After we would shoot he shot like the band all together, and then he would do individual. And what we would do is they had a guy there because it was smoky as hell in there. So what would happen when I'd finish, the guy kicked the door open and you could see smoke, and he'd tell us, go out back, and I'd breathe in some fresh air. Okay, take 2, and I'd go back in there and do it. But it was smoky. They even had a fire guy with a little badge thing there, because when you're doing that, you have to have a guy with the fire extinguisher and all that. But I mean, it was cool. It was just 2 little fire jets. They did it, and then he did all those crazy lights and stuff. So
that's a good thing. But it's so funny because like in the 70s and 80s, they didn't have a guy. People were just shooting off fireworks. It's amazing that people didn't get killed at these shows, because it was the same guy that was running around getting drinks for the band was in charge of the pyro.
Yeah. Hurry up, dude. Push that button. He goes, wait a minute. I'm doing a shot.
Oh, I think they got your hair here.
Now now when we play festivals, it's like in the contract. I mean, they're like, if you want to use pyro, you got to buy this permit. We got to, and all this, you got to pay our guy. It's like,
Oh my God.
Just give us a little smoke on stage. We're cool.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Well, I've been stalking out your dates, so hopefully you'll get somewhere close to us.
Yeah.
Yes. We want to cover everywhere. So hopefully look out, man.
We interviewed Mark from Jag Panzer, and his wife barged in to tell us that she had advanced to the next level in virtual reality.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think she was so excited. So that was interesting.
Yeah, my gal, she hears me doing these interviews, and the dog's here, and she comes in and she hands me the dog. I said, well, come in and say hi. And she's
exactly.
She's shy.
All invited. Yeah,
say hi, so but that's cool though.
Cool. All right. Well, this was great. Thanks so much for doing it.
Hey, thank you guys. It was awesome, man. You guys are a lot of fun.
Falling on deaf ears.
This is the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.